I'm just gonna say for now we'll use this audio until I figure out what's going on with my Yeti. Hello everyone, how are y'all doing today? I am so sorry about that ear break. Um, that's embarrassing. One, I have no audio. Two, I have basically blown eardrums out of every single one of you, making them fountains of blood. Um, anyway, how are y'all doing today? Well, I couldn't sleep at all today, given the understanding that I am trying to do this whole VTuber thing, so I'm a bit nervous. And I'm trying to revive an old project that you guys might actually like. Let's see what I can capture real quick. 2 years will never recover. Yeah, I bet not. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. I really do hope that you'll feel better after tonight's stream. Maybe, get some hydrochloric, not hydrochloric acid. Wow, what am I saying to my viewers? Jeez. Hydrogen peroxide and a little bit of, soothing music might help. Jeez, what am I doing to you guys? Anyway, let me see if I get the right capture. I have a whole lot of games here, so please forgive me. Let's go with the display capture. And yes, I shall commit the break. All on stream. Oh, that kind of fit nicely. Kinda. So kind of just resize this a little bit. I kind of wasn't prepared for today, so as it were. So we'll be using what's called a skeledraw to kind of demonstrate what I'm going to be doing with this project and what I'm expecting, how this would all form. But feel free to tell me a bit about yourselves. What kind of questions do you want to know about me? While you're thinking about that, let me introduce myself. I am Ace Tributon. I am a 27-year-old derp nugget that likes to program things. By program things, I mean I make what I make sure I want to make JavaScript developers cry and resign their jobs. Or make sure I'm never hired again. I do what's called abstract coding. I try to think outside the box and think about where I want to be. Now, while saying that, I also do gaming like The Isle, Warframe, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online, and a few other adventure-based games that have consequences. Because, I am always goody good two-shoes, but I want to see where I'm going. Aside from that, I hate brats. I hate sausages, except if it comes in pizza, which is okay. I also hate pineapple on pizza, except if it's Hawaiian, so let's settle that debate. So, what kind of YouTuber am I? Well, I am religious, for one. Second, I am what you will call like a summoner or an artificer. I like to summon stuff. I like to create chaos. And by creating chaos, I mean I want to have as much entertainment to give to you guys as much as possible. So, yeah. My birth month is February 2796. My birth month, I mean, I just gave you my date of birth. Oh, well, that's okay. So, tell me, what questions you will lay down on me. Just lay them down on me. What y'all got? Okay, that's working just fine. Here's a YouTube statistics thing that apparently hides in the background. Um, let's go back to full screen here real quick to minimize all that. You know, create some less distractions than we need. So is the music appropriate that it's kind of low, but you can kind of hear it a little bit in the background? If so, I can actually get, working on this. Alright, so let's start by what do we want in a project? What are we going to do? Alright, so first I'm going to say that this is you guys. This is Discord user. Alright, so this is where you are. You guys are in a nice, neat little box. Alright? You guys are the Discord user I want to target. Now, I have a thing called a Discord API bot, or what you would call a Discord bot. So let me draw another box. So we'll call this like API stuff. Well, stuff that happens in the background, stuff that you generally want to do with bots and stuff. Now, let's say I want to create some servers. So I'm going to draw some servers here real quick. I'm going to call this Isla Evolve Server 1. Alright, that works. Okay. Isla Evolve Deathmatch. You're gonna go right there. Isla Evolve Semi-Realism. Yes, we will have a semi-realism server. So, here we got servers that we got for our bot to, talk back and forth. So, data that's coming from here goes to that server, this server, and that server. Now I need to send some data back so I can actually talk to you guys. So I need to do this as well. I need to go here because we need to make a command and we need a response. So we need to send that back to you. Now, this Discord bot not only talks to the servers, but how do we keep track of points? How do we keep track of player stuff? So we're just going to make a nice little box on the left side. And we're going to put like Discord user stuffs. You can kind of see where this is going. So this is kind of like the map where I want to do this project with. I want to establish that these are 3 servers I plan on making. Maybe not server 1, but rather free-for-all. There you go. It kind of fits the name a little bit better. So we'll do these things. Now, let's kind of make this a little bit better. We'll call this section, this here is... So this will be one computer. These will be independent computers. And I'll try to show you guys what is a cost-effective way to handle all this. Now, I'm trying to figure out how many slots or player slots is appropriate per server and see how that will go. Here we got a Discord user that is entirely whatever computer you guys have, so I have no control of this. You guys will operate on potatoes and or gasoline engine type of computers. I don't care. This is what you guys are sitting at. Now, Discord API stuff, Discord user stuff, and these servers. What does this all mean, Basil? Well, glad you actually asked. Let's try to go over here. So, I want to talk about how do I know what to do for players? Like, what does the command body look like? So, command body would look like this. Slash command here. Now, what does that command here do? Or actually, let's use a common the IO command. You know, slay. So, what does slay do? Slay talks to the Discord bot API. API will determine which server it's going to slay that dinosaur. It will then pick that server, send a JSON response, and tell the program inside that specific server to terminate that file. We want a JSON body return a JSON body that returns a success or a failure. Now, to understand what I'm trying to do, what's a JSON file? Oh, what's a JSON? So, What do you mean by JSON? JSON is simply a way to hold data. And we use this so we can talk to other PCs and or store your dinosaur player file. So, an example of what this will look like is, for some people who operate on servers before, this should look familiar. Character class. I'm gonna put this in quotations because that's how Jason likes it. And we'll put down Oro. This will have like hunger, it'd be like $9.99. Retail price, come and get it, boys. $9.99. Be thirst, $9.99, and so on. That's what a JSON body looks like. Now, what we need to send to the server is something that would make this talk. So let's go over that, shall we? We need a way to basically talk to the servers back and forth. And this time, we will not be using FTP or file transfer protocol. Now, the reason why I would say is not use this at all, it's slow, it's janky, and sometimes the API kinda sucks. It requires a whole lot more bloated code in the back end, and what we don't want is bloated code. So, to make this simpler, we will borrow what's called WebSockets. We will also be working on Node.js, which is a server backend for JavaScript. So while we're learning about JavaScript and everything else, we've learned what JSON is. But what its acronyms are is actually what's called a JavaScript object notation. So that's how we do that. So we want to say to server with slay command given to it. So we want to say response and we want to say slay. We want to give it a user ID, which will be your Discord user, the IL ID of some kind. Now your IDs will kind of look similar to what a Steam ID would be like. It'd be like 76561198563424, something like that. So that value is what's going to be inside that Discord ID. Now, why do we need to know where this is? This number here, this magical number, will allow me to point to which file I need in that server to yoink it out of the way. You know, make it no longer exist, since we use the slay command. Now, the response from the server to Discord should look something like it'll either be one of two options. It'll either be success or failure. Now we need to know why, so we'll need a reason response. So reason. So if failure, provide to player why. Now this is just a WebSocket. This is from talking to one computer to another. So I need to learn how to do a little bit of WebSockets to talk back and forth. Now, y'all are pretty much familiar about progression, right? About how you would basically turn into a dinosaur. You go from basically being the little tiny bean on the bottom here. So let's create a box here. And you want to be somewhere up here. But to get to here, you need to survive. You need to go from this little bean, and this is an overly simplistic explanation, mind you. So going from here, you have options to go to, and I want to represent that in my commands. So we'll have like a drop-down menu. So whatever, it's something that's truthy or something that you guys have unlocked, you should be able to add another dinosaur into that list. Otherwise, if you died, you start all the way over. You start down here. Now, let's say if you succeeded, you'll have these extra options load up on a menu. So what will that look like? Let's see. Let me go ahead and yoink, 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 and yoink. Now let's make a box. And this would be probably another whole thing. So this would be your drop-down menu. With a capital V for drop-down. This would be select your dinosaur. Please choose a dinosaur you wish to play as. So you'll be able to select a dinosaur, and that option will vary. But I did make something that was a bit easier for me to deal with when I was working with programming at the time for noobs. Noobs is a lovely community of over 40 something thousand players, and it's big for a reason. Now, what actually made this challenge difficult is you have 31 dinosaurs. This drop down menu can only do 25. So I had to break down my code into the following things. So I'm going to break it down into 3 categories. First, let's select a server. Point to the 3 at the beginning. Now, that's good and all to know which server we need. Um, I have no idea what happened. Uh, okay, my computer just took an ape shit for a minute, so let me figure out why. I don't care, AVG. Bite me. Oh, apparently we're gonna have a broken, VTuber model for today. That's great. That's great. That's grand. We're just going to pretend that this doesn't happen and, kind of remedy that the best as you can. It's like, um, that's nice. Yeah, no, I think I just lost my VTuber. Alright, for now, let's just pretend that I don't exist. We'll work on getting my avatar back. We'll see. Anyway. I want to know if I can load it back in now. You can see how a VTuber is made. If that. Oh well. We're just gonna pretend that that's going to be my model for today. It's gonna be just a PNG. Let's just have a standstill kind of talk today. Anyway, let's not get too distracted and let's get back right into the topic. So what we want to do next is select a dinosaur branch. What this will do is I'll break it down to the 3 different types. This will be Oro, Taco, and Velo. And from here, this will show your available dinosaurs for that tier. And we need to check if you have a dinosaur requirements met. So we need to break it down into 3 chunks. Those 3 chunks will kind of help me determine what I need to do. So, okay, now that I got everything back, let's see it. So that's something that I need to do. Now, I could basically borrow something that I have from the progression project when I was working with noobs. Let me open up a code base here. Actually, I want to open up Orophia. Now let's look at some code, shall we? Just to give y'all a glimpse as to what I'm working on. Alright, so let's go ahead and bring this terminal down. We're not going to be using this code, actually. This code is a mess. This is something that I've done a long time ago. But, while we are here, you see how there's like one var, but made for the entire thing all the way down? Nah, I want to do something like this, where it's just going to be a function at the end where it's nothing but function calls and keywordless programming. But yeah, this is something I'm trying to work on. And let's go ahead and look at the JSON file that we were looking at earlier. Of course, Noobs doesn't have anything. Let's see. Alright, there we go. Cool. This is what I need. It's the dino name, the proper name, the code name for those, and everything else that we're going to need in between. So, I kind of done a little bit of research when I was looking through the aisle and came across the names, and I've organized them as follows. Orophia, Taco, and Ava are the AI creatures. These are then organized by herbivore and carnivore. Top one here is basically survival carnivore, and bottom is sandbox carnivore. Same for the top. Survival carnivore and sandbox carnivore. Then I'll have like responsible proper names, so whenever a user is greeted, it'll be with a proper name. But for me, this is the lazy backend I could do that can serve my purpose. Codename, that's something that's going into the background where it's going to edit your file accordingly. So remember the whole Steam ID I was talking to y'all about earlier. This. Don't mind this. This is Evrima code. But about this is about the similar what I would look at. So all the health, stamina, hunger, stuff like that, that's gonna be right here. It's going to store Boolean values, which is either true or false. It's going to store a string, which is these quotation values, and it's going to also store numbers. But stuff like this is kind of important to kind of look at, and then we'll basically be working on building that file together. So what's important now is we'll need to make what's called a GitHub. A GitHub is very important. GitHub is my lovely backup dancer. It keeps my previous versions there in case I do a silly. GitHub will have 2 repositories. Performance, proper coding with optimizations. Cursed coding, which will be the constraining value. As a challenge to keep me on my feet. So what I'm going to do is go to GitHub. And you'll see here that I have repositories already stored. I try to work on a Rust. I try to do a little bit of thing with a military role-playing group. But let's take a look at this one real quick. This is the current bot that I have that's live, or will soon to be live. And as you can tell, it's almost 98.5% JavaScript. You'll have servers like these, like Deathmatch, Database Sandbox, Progression Survival, stuff like that. Actions are going to be like commands that would be something I need to work on. Now, let's give y'all a look and see what y'all notice for freebies. You know how sometimes you use a freebie command and you get points? This is what it looks like. I had to break everything down on the top here where it says const. This is all declared by const, and I don't care. But it pulls out the things I'm pulling out from the interaction object. I am using the now function, which allow me to differentiate between now and when you guys last used the command. So it'd be like Discord object time. And then I could just tell you if you're not allowed to use freebie yet, or if you are, then you can. Stuff like that. Oh, you probably came back to Broken Ace. Yes, unfortunately. My computer took a big dumpster dive and shut down all of my keyboards, my inputs, everything. I was in the dark. So you're now just stuck with the image of Ace Tributon for a little bit. But yeah, this is how the bot works. you get the name, which will appear as freebie, and then the description will tell you what the command name does if you do what's called slash. Ah! Help me to do it! So if you do slash freebie, that's what it's going to do. It'll tell you the name of the command, it'll give you a description, and here's the guts. So that's how you do the basics of it all. Then you got stuff like, let's see, dino data. Remember that dinosaur data that I had shown y'all earlier? This is the progression of it. So I need to look at the requirements, see what dinosaurs line up and what they don't line up with. And then the required name. And at the time whenever I had the progression game mode enabled, it was janky. But I was able to try to do points. But I can't do that, and I'll explain why later. And then, of course, you got your dino name, your proper name, your code name, and all that good stuff. Now, let's go back to Excalidraw for a minute. Let's go ahead and move this down, out of the way. So, how do we make a bug-free progression server? While progression exists, the current tree to select dinosaurs are bugged. You can't select 90% of them because they're missing proper dino codes to correlate to each dino class. Now, that's a big problem. We can't move from one dinosaur to the other without knowing what this dinosaur is or what that other dinosaur is. So what we're going to have to do, we would have to use survival as a game mode. Now, we can't fit AI into the select screen, but what we can do is minus delete current dinosaurs from the select menu, rendering it unusable for random people to join server. Now, so instead of like some of the herbivores and carnivores you will be able to select, there will be nothing. We want our users to use the bot to progress through and through. This also provides instant a way to move the players without them having to select the dino in game. Simply log off, make command, and poof, your new dino. So how do we need to communicate to the random that wants to join? create a text file called motd.txt and make it simple, clear that you need to join the Discord to use this server, as 100% of the commands are used for this server. So now that we kind of got the outline, we're going to make a survival game mode that has no dinosaurs, nothing to select. So whenever you use the Discord bot and you log back in next, you're automatically poofed in with your new dinosaur. So what have we got so far? We kind of just outlined a lot of things. And that's not even the half of it. Let's not do that, please. Thank you. So we talked about how many servers we're going to operate, what the Discord bot does, Discord user stuff, and Discord user command sending to and from it. We kind of gave the example what our slay command does. We also want a response body to send and receive from servers using WebSockets. And we want to make a command for the Discord user to operate, so we'll be able to select a dinosaur and so on. And this will break it down to 3 sections. Let's select a server that we want to operate. Let's select a dinosaur branch, which will have Oro, Taco, and Vila respectively. And then this will show your available dinosaurs that you have unlocked for that selected branch. Then we want to create a GitHub so we can start working on version control and everything else. And we kind of gave a general description about what we want to do with the servers. So that's good in all. But when do we want to see this project live and up and running? Well, I'm thinking about next week. We'll kind of get this up and running on that. But for now, I'm going to leave the floor open up to you guys. And then I want you guys to feel free to ask me around what kind of questions you may want to decide on. And we'll see what we got while I'm working on my VTuber model to make sure it's fixed. I have a feeling it just deleted my camera. It may or may not have deleted camera. You gotta pack everyone as an Oro. Well, anyway. Yeah, I will say fixing stuff with money is never really great. I might accidental dock myself, but for the sake of the stream, I must. And let's not. Sometimes the software would be finicky and what have you. But this is the background of like your VTuber model. So for those of you who ever decide to get curious about going into VTubing, you can just move your avatar around here and there. You also have a few other things too, like you can select your. I could be. I don't care. I could be a girl VTuber. I could do everything. Nah, I just want to have my avatar back. Thank you. I actually had to pay a lot of money for this one. It's not very cheap. Oh, is there a cat one? I think there is. Yeah. If you want to be an actual cat, you can be an actual cat for free. You can be a dog in a cup. You can be almost anything. Yep. Still working on my VTuber company to get this all working out properly. Oh, there it is. Okay, I kind of have movement now. I had to take the... I had to actually take the streaming thing off. Let's fix that, shall we? So, yeah. Okay, so I got blinking returns. I just don't think I have tracking work. This is on my phone, by the way. So, it's kind of broken. But yeah, it has a nice few lovely biddies. So there's some expressions. I need to know. If I can make this a little bit easier on myself. Well, I mean, I am glad that it's tracking decently. It's just awful. So a couple of YouTube videos use VR models. Yeah, there's a lot nowadays that uses VR models. Obviously you got your famous VTubers like Shy Lily, Girl DM, and a few others, and they do a really good job of it. I just need to get my phone working. For some reason, it's a little jank. Well, I guess I'm not going to have that working. I mean, I am glad that there's a little lag now. It's just, it might be something I gotta play around with a little bit further, but we'll see how it goes. So, yeah, it's gonna be broke for a little bit, but that's okay. So I need to convert all this code, or rather, I don't care about you. Let's go back to this. This is the code I will be using later on to work with the dinosaur tree. So I'll be yoinking this, and let's ignore this bit. This was made for my special calculator that kind of just flunk, only because it's not great, but it's okay. In terms of usability, it's okay. But after a while, we'll see what happens. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that's like old story stuff. I remember trying doing my own slash command stuff before slash commands became a common meta. So I was kind of proud of myself here. Now this is where like your Discord tutorial comes into play. You had to store where all your commands are and then make it work. But it's something that I could work with. Whenever we get started with the coding challenges, that'd be like 2 weeks from now. So I'm gonna try to at least do this kind of content once every 2 weeks. That way I can get into other contents as well, keep y'all very much entertained and well satisfied. One thing about next week Mondays and then alternating the 2 weeks there is that Mondays will be like a game stream days, and then that could work out to whatever favor I could work with. But yeah, it's all in all, this is what a bot file or bot project would look like. Now, I ain't even got to the good part yet. There is a thing called a batch file system, and what that does allows me to restart the application if it crashes for any reason. So master batch is used to, update everything. So you see like progression, you'll see deathmatch, you see news progression, the files respectively to upload. Oh, and to answer that question, I will post the link in chat. That way you guys can join up on the project and see how things are going to go. So let me generate a link, copy the link, and paste it link. There you go. At least you'll be able to join in and then come say hi and introduce yourselves. I even had Mr. Mosasaur brought into play as well. But yeah, I'll have an updater, I'll have batch files, I'll have all that stuff, and I'll kind of teach you guys how to operate this as well, because it is a unique experience. This is not like like the best person on the planet. I am not here to be a professional. I am here just to have fun and, torture you guys with terrible code, but besides the point. I kind of need to do a rework anyway, because as much as I love doing this, it's just complicated. So I kind of need to find a way to make things a bit simple, so it don't become a mess. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it to you guys, and just kind of hopefully get my VTuber model fixed and look at my issues and see if I can find a way to fix it. But otherwise, I will bid you guys adieu, and I will let you guys have fun, introduce yourselves in the Discord, that it is linked in chat. Otherwise, thank you for coming to the little bit of a debut stream. Have fun, stay safe, and God bless.